the top, baby, don't stop. You can have it. You can have it all. Let's go to the top, baby, don't stop. Love, joy, peace. Good life and family. Will and success. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to the Tankard Show. Wow, I am excited today. I get a chance to interview one of my girlfriends, Lisa Nicole from Bravo's Married to Madison. Yes. And honey, we're going to be talking about Born to Win. You know, she has a phenomenal win conference, and she's also had some drama on TV, so we're going to deal with all of that. So don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Congratulations to the Impact Network and its founders, Apostle Wayne T. and Dr. Beverly Y. Jackson, for now becoming the only African-American founded and operated international Christian TV network, bringing the gospel to Africa, including over 40 countries and 900 million viewers. We salute you.
Welcome back to the Tankard Show right here on the Impact Network. And now it's time for today's Millionaire Tip. You were born to win. But to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Having the right mindset is more important than having the right idea. What do I mean by that? Listen, the minute you have an idea or the minute you get ready to move forward, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be distractions. There are always going to be things there to tell you that it's not going to happen. But if you have a mindset to win, I don't care what challenge you face, you know that at the end of that thing, it's going to be successful. So what do I mean? You have to have a mindset to say, listen, I'm going to always find myself at an advantage. You know, I was doing an interview one time, and this was really good. And someone told me, she said, it was actually the producer, Dowface. I'll never forget it. It was really good. And she was saying, you know, being in Hollywood, being a producer, I didn't look at myself as, well, I'm a black woman, so therefore it's hard. No, I'm a human being. I'm an American citizen. I'm a believer, and I can do whatever it is that God has put in my heart to do. And so she said she didn't put limitations on herself. And then I was out at Whole Foods a couple days ago, and somebody stopped and came up to me and said, I need some money. I said, well, what's going on? I said, why aren't you working? I wanted to ask her. And she said, well, I'm slow. I said, who told you you were slow? So it goes back to what you think about yourself. You don't listen to somebody just because they tell you you can't do it. You don't pay attention to that. You make sure that your voice, that the voice of God is bigger than any other voice, because there are always going to be voices out there to tell you you can't, to tell you to slow down. But you got to remember, God did not create you to be average, and he sure enough didn't create you to lose. You were born to win. Now get to moving, and that's today's Millionaire Tip. Today's Financial Watch. Let's talk about the weakness of the U.S. dollar and having an exit strategy for those of you that hopefully are saving gold and silver. Gold has historically been an excellent hedge against inflation because its price tends to rise when the cost of living increases. When the value of the dollar falls against other currencies, as it did in 1998 and 2008, this often prompts people to flock to the security of gold, which rises gold prices. The price of gold nearly tripled between 1998 and 2008, reaching $1,000 an ounce milestone. In 2008 recession, gold nearly doubled between 2008 and 2012, which tells me that you and I both need to begin to save precious metals. Gold and silver is one of the best things that you can begin to purchase right now. And that's it on today's Financial Watch.
Congratulations to the Impact Network and its founders, Apostle Wayne T. and Dr. Beverly Y. Jackson, for now becoming the only African-American founded and operated international Christian TV network, bringing the gospel to Africa, including over 40 countries and 900 million viewers. We salute you.
Impact is social.
Impact is fearless, unafraid to speak the truth in love, committed to be a voice for those who have no voice, and ready to listen. Prepared to stand up for what is right, no matter the consequence, working to correct injustice, whether political or social. The Impact Network, for the spirit, soul, and body. Impact is yours.
Impact is social.
Impact is liberating, presenting life in its fullest and releasing your greatest potential, uncovering your purpose and your destiny, bringing spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, and financial empowerment so you're free to live your calling. The Impact Network.
Welcome back to the Jewel Tankard Show right here on the Impact Network. And I am sitting here with my girlfriend, Miss Lisa Nicole Cloud from Bravo's Married to Medicine.
How are you?
I'm so glad you are here. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Look at you, loving the
love
colors.
The lace and the lace shoes. Yes, girl.
Thank
You know I love
you.
it. Now, is this a part of the Lisa Nicole collection?
Of course, you know, as a businesswoman, you have to be a walking billboard.
Yes, girl. Well, it is adorable. I love it.
Thank you.
You just got back from Dubai.
I did. It was such an amazing experience.
Oh, wow. So who did you go? Did you go with hubby and children?
I
or-
went with my hubby, and as you know, the direct sales company that I'm with, they sent us as an incentive trip.
Oh, girl. I know that was
So
fabulous.
we did it all.
Well, I want to thank you for coming straight to Detroit.
Yes.
On the show.
I hit the U.S. soil at 6 a.m., jumped on a plane, and I said, I gotta go, baby. He's like, where you going? I said, I gotta go to Detroit to film the Jewel Tankard Show.
I really appreciate that. And I just want to tell you that, you know, I think you're a phenomenal mom and
Thank
wife.
you.
And I also, and of course, I know you're an empowerment coach. You're a major leader in the network marketing business, as I am. We've had that in common. And then, of course, you started the Lisa Nicole collection, which I think your work ethic is like crazy. I love it. And I think that's where we've got that commonality. You love the Lord, you love your family. And then, of course, you're an amazing businesswoman. And, of course, we've seen you most recently on What's Going On with Married to Medicine. But I want to say that one of the things that I love about you is that you're authentic and you're transparent. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
just keep it real. We've had some real conversations on the phone. We've talked and, you know, supported one another. And then, of course, I love being a part of the WIN conference that you have. So
Yes.
first, let's get the juice out of the way, okay? And then we're going to go and talk about the WIN
All
conference.
right, all right. I know you want the tea.
You know I want the tea. Okay, right. So, of course, we've seen what's happened on, and I know when you initially took, so let's first talk about when you initially got the opportunity to be on reality TV in the first place. Was your thought, was it something that you always wanted to do in terms of reality TV? And then what was kind of your view of African-American women, and particularly on reality TV? So kind of talk to me about what your view was before you got on TV and how you got that opportunity.
You know, for years, being in Atlanta, every reality show you can think of is coming out of Atlanta. I had been approached. I mean, of course, they're looking for successful women, women in business, powerful women. So I was a candidate.
Yeah.
I turned down many of them because I said, I don't want to be a part of the negative stereotype. And it really took me a while to really get comfortable with the fact that if you want to change the stereotype that you see on TV, you have to be a part of the change.
Right,
And so I really made the decision to do reality TV to show a different perspective, you
Yeah.
know, because the women that I saw on TV, not that there was anything wrong with them,
Right.
I just didn't feel like they represented who I was
Right.
as a mother, as a wife, as a businesswoman, and I wanted to be a positive example on TV. In fact, when I accepted the role on Married to Medicine, the first thing I said to them is, I'm not your drama queen. I'm not going to be calling women out of their name. That's just not who I am. And I wanted to encourage sisterhood. As you know, that's something
Oh,
that's
yeah.
very
I know
important
that's
to
really
me.
important, yeah.
Sisterhood, uplifting one another, supporting one another. And what I learned after the first season is that sometimes that's not what people want to see when they watch reality TV. What I learned is that people watch reality TV not to be inspired, but to be entertained. And there's really a thin line that you have to walk to be true and authentic to who you are, and to also be entertaining. It's interesting, the first season, I was Women's Empowerment Network, mom, talked about a medical condition that I was going through, real life things that everyday women go through, and yet and still, what did Mariah say? The boring girl, right? Second season, still stayed true to who I am, talked about the Women's Empowerment Network, talked about mom, talked about marriage, but as you know, had a little controversy, and all of a sudden, my phone won't stop ringing for interviews. And what I think it's important to realize is that you take those opportunities to still put out the positive messages
Right.
that you stand for,
Right,
which is
absolutely.
what I've definitely done. I've continued to talk about the Women's Empowerment Network. I've continued to talk about being a successful businesswoman. I've continued to talk about the medical mission trip that we're doing in Haiti.
Wow.
And what I also learned is that a lot of times on reality TV, you might be able to relate to this, they build you up to tear you down.
Yeah.
Because the more elevated you are, the greater the fall.
Yeah.
So of course, no one ever expected me, of course, to have the issue with Quad. I didn't expect it. I mean,
Right,
let me be quite frank. That was the last thing I expected
Yeah.
to come into the
Yeah.
season. It wasn't until the quote-unquote strip club incident that I realized that, oh my, I'm the target this season. I didn't realize that. Can
Yeah.
you imagine
Yeah.
being in a cast, in an ensemble cast, and not realizing that you were the target that season?
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was a different
right.
situation. I began to realize that all of the attacks were going to come on me because I do stand for, you know, I don't hooray drinking, you know. I don't stand for my husband being in a strip club, you know. Everything that was okay for the norm, that's not okay for me, because
Yeah.
we're building our marriage on biblical principles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know, as far as the incident with Quad and I just think that family is off limit. You know, we signed up to do this TV show,
Right.
not our husbands,
Yeah.
not our kids.
Yeah.
You know, and when you make up lies for the sake of a storyline, that's
Then
really
you're going to get a whole different kind. But, you know, this is why I'm so proud of you, because as believers, I think we have to go into those uncomfortable situations. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours.
Dr. King, what's your next move?
In March from Selma to Montgomery.
Selma is loud for every man, woman, and child.
We will not wait any longer.
In front of a crowd.
Mine eyes have seen the glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Hey, welcome back to the Joel Tankard Show right here on the Impact Network. Sitting here with the beautiful Lisa Nicole Cloud. My gosh, your transparency, girl, you know I already love it. You were just saying your marriage is built, your family is built on biblical principles. There's certain things that you're gonna not stand for. And to be honest with you, even though your challenge was so huge, and I'm watching the show, and then I'm talking to you all the time, and we're praying and we're believing, and I get it. And I said, you know what, but this is going to be such a witness, because as believers, just because I'm a believer doesn't mean that I get everything right. It doesn't mean I always respond right. It doesn't mean that my husband or children will always do right. But at the end of the day, I know that God loves us. I know that God cares for us. And that is just a moment in time. It doesn't define who I am as a person. So talk about when that happened with Quad, that big altercation, and now, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, she took me there. Talk about that.
I remember it took me everything. First, she was coming for me, and I was okay with that, you know. And if you recall on the show, I sat back and I took a deep breath in, trying to keep my composure. But when she started spewing out just lies, untruths about my husband, it's like mama bear mode kicked in. And it was like, wait a minute, we're not going to do this for the sake of a storyline.
Right.
And what I think is important for people to realize is we are educated women, we are professional women, we are mothers, we are wives, but it doesn't mean that we are perfect.
Right.
And I think sometimes society has a way of putting successful people on these pedestals and thinking that they don't have flaws.
Right.
And this is why it becomes such a controversy when someone that's on a doctor show, or if a pastor makes a mistake. We're all human beings. We're all a work in progress.
Right.
You know, we're all striving to be the best we can be. But at times we have our moments. And in that instance, you know, you saw me react to someone attacking my family. Because I just don't think that that's necessary for entertainment purposes. I mean.
No, absolutely. If you had to do it over again, do you think, honestly, with all that emotion built up, that you would have responded differently or no?
A lot would have been done differently. You know, I think that I definitely would have refrained from tossing water. I definitely, and remember, everything is not shown, but I definitely would not have called her what I called her. I think in that moment, all I could think of was my family. And, you know, my children and the things that they would hear about their father that was not true, the things that kids might tease them about in school, and I just, for that short moment, lost it. Do I condone it? Absolutely not. Did I have that conversation with my children that, you know, mommy had a moment? Yes. Do I want to teach them to not respond that way? Yes. And I still believe in protecting your family.
Absolutely. And this is what I love about you. That, you know, listen, this is what happened. This is where I'm at, and very few people can own it. And that was one of the things that I love about you as my girlfriend, and love about my husband, when he realized, you know what, I've not been spending the time that I needed with the children because I'm on the road ministering or doing concerts or working on this business. He owned it. And I think that that's what makes us great. It's not that we get everything right. It's that if I do get off to the right or the left, I can own what I did and then make the adjustment. And so I'm really proud of you for that. I think you've handled it with an extreme amount of grace and class.
You know, it's easy to get in your flesh when people are attacking you. And I thank God for my prayer warriors like yourself, that when I'm in that moment, they can take me out of my flesh and into my spirit, and how God would want us to allow this battle to be fought. You know, the battle is not mine. You know, there are many things I could have put out there about Quad when I did the background, but at the end of the day, what I said is, for what? Is it going to make me feel any better? No, I'm not the type of woman that's going to tear other women down to feel better. And unfortunately, when you are broken and when you are hurt, you feel like hurting other people is going to make you feel better, and it absolutely will not.
So good.
And so the night it all happened, I remember I called you. And I was crying, and I was like, I can't believe I lost it like that. I also was on the phone with Juanita Bynum that night. And in all of it, I just got to thank you for just praying with me, being my sister, supporting me, and really helping me to see that in every mess there's a message, and in every message there's a ministry.
Ooh, come on, baby. That's it. That's it. We are down to 30 seconds. I want to deal with really quickly. Your husband went to the strip club. You didn't know it. Just in 30 seconds as a wife, because there's so many women out there that are dealing with this. How did you deal with that? 30 seconds.
Basically, we had a real heart-to-heart that I'm not okay with that. He understands that there's nothing of God in the strip club, and even if your brothers want to go because they're in town and it's the fellas' night, that you got to be, there's other places you can go, a sports bar, you know, whatever. And so we had to have that dialogue, because I guess that's something men do, you know, but it doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't mean that because the world is accepting of it, a man of God should not be in the strip club.
Oh, that's so good, girl. Woo! I love you. Y'all heard that. So if you have that happen with your husband, that's what you need to do.
You gotta have that real talk.
You gotta have that real talk, and I think that's what marriage is all about. Now it's time to do a game called What Would You Do? Okay?
Okay.
Jessica and Josh have been married for 6 years. They are fed up with their current lifestyle, environment, and relationships. They desire to be around people with more of a wealth mindset, but they don't know what to do. They're currently surrounded by negativity and poverty-minded people. What can they do to start moving from where they are and where they desire to be? Because I know that's really what WIN is all about, and specifically for women, empowerment. But what would you tell Jessica and Josh?
Well, I think it's really important to watch the people you surround yourself with, because if you're the most successful person in your circle and you're breathing life into everyone else, the question becomes, who's breathing life into you? Right. And you really are the sum total of the people you spend the most time with. So I would encourage them to spend time with couples that are happily married, couples that are willing to do the work even if they do have challenges, because marriage is not easy. Marriage takes work, and marriage requires that you surround yourself with other like-minded people that are going to support you, not the girlfriend that's going to be like, oh, leave that man alone. You don't need him. No, you need to be with that girlfriend that says, go and work it out. Y'all get some counseling. Y'all get some help. Because marriage is a covenant between you, your husband, and God. And God honors that covenant when you honor it.
Yeah, that's so good. Now, let me ask you really quickly, because I know that, you know, and this hopefully will still help Jessica and Josh, and hopefully they're watching right now. Do you feel like that one of the best things that Jessica and Josh can do, and I don't know if they're able to get it from their family, so they may have to create a conference, or they may have to connect to a conference like WIN?
Yes, well actually there's two things. WIN is that conference for women who want to be in an environment that encourages sisterhood, that is going to put you in an environment to find mentors to teach you how to grow personally, professionally, financially, and spiritually. But Dr. Heavenly and I, because you know she's a relationship expert, right?
Yes.
Dr. Heavenly and I are working on a conference for couples, married and single people looking to meet someone that they're equally yoked with, and that we will concentrate on helping individuals and couples grow personally, professionally, financially, and spiritually. And it's events like that where you're surrounding yourself with that positive information to grow. And we're using a format where we take people like ourselves who are on TV, and we are, for the sake of the conference, the case study. And we're bringing in experts to really talk to us. Because, you know, sometimes when you're on TV, or you're a doctor, or you're a pastor, people think that your life is perfect, and it's not. We all have areas that we're growing in, areas that we're challenged in. And
that's so good.
It's going to be a great conference. It's all about helping people, relationships, to have their breakthrough. So it's called Teach Me How to Grow With You, and it's coming very soon.
Woo, yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, that is so good. So let's talk a little bit, because I love that, in that we've got just a minute or two here to pick up. You had a real conversation with your husband. Jessica and Josh probably need to have a real conversation with one another and connect to networks like what you created, what you and Dr. Heavenly are working on, WIN is working on. how much would you say having counsel, the right counsel, what percentage would you say of having the right counsel around you is really dependent upon your overall success?
I think that you have to be willing to find mentors and teachers that can help you in areas you need to grow in. I don't think there's any level of success that you achieve where there's not a higher level that you can achieve. And that's going to require finding the right mentors and teachers and counsel. And so I think it's very important for them to surround themselves with people who are maybe have had that struggle. I think life is the best teacher. And the thing that I love about WIN, and the thing that we're going to really emphasize at Teach Me How to Grow With You, is that we are not talking from textbook. We're talking from real life experiences and how we were able to navigate through those storms. And I think it's really important to have those discussions, because unfortunately people think marriage is fairy tale. They think you're going to grow up, you're going to find your Prince Charming, you're going to live in your big castle with your white picket fence and your dog, and that's a fairy tale. After the first couple of months and the newness and the newlywed and the honeymoon wears off, now you got to deal with the real issues. When he doesn't pick up after himself, when you're not the best manager of money, and you know, those kind of real conversations. And you know, if we would have those real conversations, our divorce rates would be a lot lower.
Gosh, you're so
Kids
right.
would not be growing up in single-parent homes because people threw in the towel. You know, we've got to be willing to do the work.
We got to have that work. That was so good. Come on, let's give it up for Lisa Nicole. Girl, so much wisdom. That was so good. I want to thank you for coming on.
It's my
pleasure. I know
pleasure.
you bless so many people. You bless me as always. And so make sure that when this is a rerun, tell all your friends to make sure you watch. All right, now it's time for Reality Watch. Let's talk about what's happening with Basketball Wives of LA. You know, this season, there's been a lot of drama between the Friends, Malaysia, and Jackie Christie this season. But last season, on the reunion, Jackie attacked Malaysia verbally by saying that she will put a bullet in her head knowing that her brother just got shot by the police twice in the head, leaving Malaysia evaluating their relationship and keeping her distance on the new season. I mean, you know what? We just have to say there's certain things that are off limits. I think that if that's really my friend, even if I'm angry with her, I cannot take the most probably challenging thing, the most vulnerable moment or the most fragile moment or weakest moment of her life, and use it to attack her because I'm hurt. We just have to have that. I mean, even in my relationship with my husband, when you're married to somebody, you know what to say to cut. There's just certain things you just can't do with your children, with your girlfriends, and I hope that Malaysia and Jackie can repair their relationship, because I think the more mature you become, you realize that relationships are the most valuable assets that you have. So, I hope that blesses you today. Remember, thank you so much for tuning in, and remember that you can have it all. See you next time.